Well, thank you. I just wanted to also thank the community for their welcome. We really did. I think we all learned something and gained from the tour of the port facility. Fantastic investment. We always have to consider the investment beyond simply roads and bridges. We have to consider the investments beyond that that make a huge difference for economic development in regions like this and around the state. And as we continue to press for transportation funding, we need to press for funding for alternative modes as well. These are small dollar amounts that go, and they're leveraged locally dramatically, and they make a huge difference. The port itself, the work that the port does, takes so many miles and trucks off the roads to put heavy materials in barges and ship it on the river. Those are major investments that need to be continued, and they need to get renewed focus from all of us going forward. I wanted to note also, as this is about 1 year for me being here with the commission and with the department here in Missouri, I wanted to express my appreciation for the commission itself, for the work that you do, for the guidance that you give, and for the entire MoDOT team for their welcome and their hard work. Just wanted to give a couple highlights if I could. You know, a year ago when we came in and first started discussing this, we had a capital improvement plan that totaled over a 5-year period, 2016 to 2020, totaled $1.6 billion. And to compare that, in a single year, in fiscal year 2010, the department put out construction awards of just under $1.4 billion. So in 1 year, nearly the same resources that were being expressed over a 5-year period. Really dramatically, very, very significant problem for the state. Coming on board, talking with contractors and consultants and those that are private partners along the way. We're very concerned about the future viability of their businesses, their workers, their employees, and certainly the condition of the infrastructure itself is a primary concern. The team really set to work and had set in motion prior to my coming, really a renewed focus with the changes at the federal level, the Federal FAST Act being signed, provided some funding stability that extended over a 5-year period, the first time in over a decade that had occurred, and a little bit of a bright spot with regard to core revenue had started to uptick because of the low gas prices and the economic activity and the increased mileage that people are driving. All of those things are incorporated into the plan, and in fact, for the 2017 to 2021 State Transportation Improvement Program, we put out a program that was just under $4 billion, and that was in January of this year. That was a significant improvement over the 2016. The team, Ed Hassinger and his team, set to work on planning that out, working with regional planning committees and metropolitan planning organizations all over the state in very quick order, January, February, and March of last year, to come up with a plan where 855 new construction projects were brought forward, and the commission approved those in the STIP in June of this past year. And not insignificant in that is that we heard not only from the commission but from elected officials from the Regional Planning Commission and the public had expressed a desire at that base level of funding to focus on taking care of the existing system, and that's what this plan does. 842 out of 855 projects that you authorized are taking care of the existing system. Now, when we talk about the good news in moving forward, consider also that we average in this period approximately $800 million in capital improvement budget resources, and that is still nearly $500 million a year below the high in 2010. So while we are not at the depth that we had projected, we are certainly not where the level of investment has been in the past and where it needs to be to promote the economic growth and the safety and well-being of our citizens through the transportation network that we invest in. So very significant movements forward. And as an expression of that, what you're looking at today and what has occurred last month and what we're projecting for project lettings for December, in this 3-month window, we're averaging about $100 million a month for the construction season next year. And that's, I think, ready news for the state, all over the state, this region as well. But $300 million in 3 months is a level I don't think we've seen in a number of years. That's good hard work by the department. We're getting great competition and bids from our contractors who are ready, willing, and able to do the work that we put out there, and that is what we're here for, is to be able to let that work and keep the economy rolling and improve the conditions out there. It's really seeing that movement and the action and the ability of the MoDOT staff to set in motion a plan for resources that had not been planned. Was truly a very interesting and instructive period for me. Showed great capabilities. Also at this time last year, shortly, just a couple weeks in, we also had historic flooding around the state. And lest people forget the value, and we'll talk about this a little bit with the Citizens Guide, lest people forget the value of the services that are provided through the operating budget of the Department of Transportation. It's that type of service, responding to emergencies on a statewide basis, that is one of our primary functions. And again, I think the department performed in an extraordinary fashion during that time. So it's been quite a ride. This year, we've got much work to do as we plan for our next state transportation improvement program, working with partners and otherwise. It's really, we're picking that up and projecting the numbers, and we'll have more to follow in the next couple meetings. But one of the things I wanted to mention also last month, proud to be a member of the MoDOT family. While a couple of us went to the AASHTO annual meeting in Boston, which is an association of transportation officials around the country. We meet with our peers from around the country, share best practices. I have the good pleasure of sitting on the board of that organization. And while we were there, the department, the state, received 2 prestigious national awards. One was the Francis B. Francoeur Award for Innovation. It went to our field traffic alert safety team, which the month before also won the Governor's Award for Quality and Productivity. Extraordinary project that they executed. Also, our Road to Tomorrow team won the AASHTO President's Award, one of the most prestigious awards given, for performing exemplary service that could have a salutary impact on transportation nationwide. It's that forethought that the Commission had, bringing the Road to Tomorrow forward and trying to drive that thought and innovation forward as we try to solve these problems. Really great job by our team, and those were well-deserved, but it's nice to get that recognition. And the other thing I'd like to say in closing of the report this time is a bit of a cautionary tale. One of the things as we approach the end of the year, I'm really sorry to report that the highway fatalities that we're experiencing here in Missouri are running 7% ahead of a year ago, and we're nearing last year's total already. And as of November 27th, we had 848 lost souls on our roadways compared to 794 at the same time last year. A lot of times we talk statistics here, and this is the one that really, this is an extraordinary trend that's occurring all over the nation as we've come out of recessionary times and people are driving more. What we do believe is a culprit, one of the culprits, is distraction. The use of cell phones while driving, the use texting while driving. This is one of your, thank you for the guidance, one of your legislative priorities to bring forward a hands-free ban on the use of cell phones or electronic devices while operating a motor vehicle. It's critical. It's critical. These are families impacted all over the state. We had literally 10 fatalities during Thanksgiving weekend. It's something that we need to focus on as a state. We have done so with a conference. We have a group formed to try to counteract some of the distraction and improve safety around the state, but it's something we need to be aware of. Much of this is driver behavior and distraction. And I'll note that 60% of the fatalities were unbuckled. One of the things we've done, we've said it at a number of meetings, is that the Department of Transportation did an all-out ban in June of this year. From a policy perspective, we do not use our cell phones while we're operating equipment or motor vehicles on the network. There is obviously some complexity to that when we're an organization that serves the public, and where our staff is doing an extraordinary job being understanding in that, but the entire point is to lead the way, to have organizations, even prior to legislative action, to take a leadership role within your organization from an employment perspective, show that you care about your employees, and put those types of policy bans in place as well. We think it's very important. 20% of Missourians and 1/3 of teens still do not wear safety belts. You know, this is a very simple action that people can take that will help in the event of an incident or a crash, keep them safe. This is very simple behavior. Encourage it among your family and friends. We'd like to see a primary safety belt legislation from an enforcement perspective. That's been unsuccessful for a number of years legislatively, but people need to take those actions on their own. So we have much work to do in the year ahead. I look forward to working together to do that, and we appreciate the input from all of the communities that we serve, and we certainly enjoy our time here in Cape Girardeau and this region. And thank you for the work that you do within the Metropolitan Planning Organization. We really do appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any